Tax day is quickly approaching, and unfortunately, procrastination is going to leave some people in a mad rush to prepare their tax return in the final days before the due date.
If you are among them, taking the time to organize your files now will make things a lot easier when you file your taxes. And here with more on that, Senior Vice President Dan Ament, Senior Vice President and Financial Advisor with Morgan Stanley Smith Barney in Wayzata. Hello. Yes.
Good morning.
Can't avoid those taxes, can we?
We cannot, and I think many people will try, but the reality is April 15th is our due date, unless we'll talk and you file an extension. But get organized in advance of the season, and many people pile up in their study all the papers relevant to their taxes. Dig into it now, well in advance, to make sure you have everything necessary to complete your return in a timely fashion. That includes your income on your W-2, investment-related reports like your 1099s and K-1s, gain-loss reports if you have investment accounts, making sure you have receipts for medical expenses, education-related expenses, business expenses. You get the drill. Make sure, and a great tool to use as a guide is your last year's return. Look at it. Maybe you get a tax organizer from your tax professional, but use that as a guide to go back and look at last year's history to make sure you have your file in place.
So you've pulled out the shoebox, you're
Right.
all organized. Anything you can do to help your bottom line with this year's return?
Absolutely. In fact, many people don't realize we can still lower your income for 2009. Many people are still eligible to fund their 2009 IRAs, a deductible contribution. $5,000, $6,000 if you're age 50 or older. You can fund, if you're a small business owner, a simplified employee pension, a SEP plan, up through your tax filing deadline plus extension. You could shelter 25% of your income for 2009 still.
Luckily, with computers, you can get a lot of this stuff online, which
Right.
makes it so much easier. But cost basis for your investments, you need to keep an eye on that.
It's a big deal. As you stated, most financial providers will be able to run a realized gain loss report for 2009. If you have dated investments or if you've moved accounts between firms over the years, that's where you need to make sure you do the forensic accounting, if you will, to make sure you have all the basis information, especially if you have an investment that reinvests back into additional shares, so that you calculate properly your average cost basis for that investment when sold.
And if you discover some surprises along the way with your return?
I think the key is, again, plan in advance so you can work with your tax professional to cover that. And there's ways, as you work through your return, you can adjust your withholding. If you determine you've withheld too much or too little tax for 2009, adjust your W-4 now so that you can plan through 2010 to have a less painful tax preparation next year.
All of this gives us tips for next year, organizing in advance. Let's say you don't think you can get the filing done in time. You can file an extension, but you still have to pay your taxes.
Four numbers, 4868. It's a key point. You can extend for up to 6 months, but your taxes are due in a timely fashion or you'll be facing penalties. And one last point, I use a simple organizer to do my taxes. Throughout the year, just put labels on an expandable desk organizer. As you receive your statements, rather than throw them in your study, drop them in your file. It will grow with you through the year. I have it in a drop file next to my desk, and it's an easy way to stay organized for the coming year.
Nice printed labels. See, mine's just a big scribbled tax file.
Mine's the shoebox. He's Dan Ament, Senior Vice President, Financial Advisor with Morgan Stanley Smith Barney and Ament in Wayzata. Always good to see you.
Make it a great day, you guys.
You too.
Dan.
Thank you.